Hi, friends. This is Cheryl from Tutoring with Cheryl, Tech Coach for Tutors, and I'm just hopping in quickly to talk to you about summer scheduling and why it's going to be really important for you to consider the amount of time you want to schedule during this summer, when you're going to do it, and then, you know, a, a little bit along the lines of scheduling, but how you're going to get these students that you so desperately want to work with. Okay. So, first of all, let's talk about considering your time. You pay yourself for your time. Okay. So it would be like you're thinking about you want to make money, right? We all want to make money because we have bills to pay. But we also have to think about the amount of time that we want to be tutoring. And if you're like me, you have time outside of tutoring that you have other responsibilities. So, you've got your family and you've got your friends and you've got your house to keep up and whatever it happens to be, your children, you need to take them different places. Or maybe tutoring is your side hustle and you have a full-time job and you only have a certain amount of time. So one thing I want you to consider when you're scheduling lessons with families is to block off your time. I made this mistake last year where it was like, oh, I'm going to kind of just work with everybody and it'll be fine. I can get everything in. And I had 21 students. That was great. I was super busy. The problem is I didn't really have any flexibility in my schedule to get done with some of the things that I really needed to finish. Okay. You see my shirt, farm. Okay. Picture, farm, big space, have a lot of things to take care of. And it was almost impossible for me to be available to do the other things that I needed to get done. So instead of being done with mowing the lawn before I had supper, I might be having supper and then mowing until the sunset. And I was exhausted. So, this year I'm setting parameters on when I'm going to be available. And for some families, unfortunately, the time that I'm going to be available isn't going to work for them. But that's okay because I've built out other platforms for them where I can support them in a different way. Parents can be in the driver's seat. They still have options of working with me. It just might look a little bit different. So when you're scheduling your summer, I want you to literally go and get a calendar, whether it's your Google calendar or a planner or a desk calendar or the one that you have on your wall. And I want you to write in the times that you're going to be available. For my families, I'm going to make myself available from 8 a.m. Central Standard Time until 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I might maybe make the occasional exception for somebody to go as late as noon. But honestly, I really need to be done at that point because, again, living on a farm, there's lots to do and the grass is going to be dry enough that if I need to be outside working outside, that's my prime time then. So I have to limit myself because I found out last year it was just too much. Okay, so scheduling your time, put it on a calendar. The second thing that I want you to think about is time for preparing and how much planning do you want to do? So when we're thinking about, I'm going to offer summer services, don't maybe make the mistake that I made and overextend yourself as far as who you're going to provide services for. And honestly, it was so much fun last summer. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of variety in my day, but the problem really came down to teaching's not the issue. It's the planning portion. So when you're doing your planning on your calendar, I also want you to consider it's not just putting it on the calendar and saying, these are the times that I'm going to be available. It's notating the session, sending the information home to the parents, but more importantly, planning. And, having 21 lessons or, whatever it happens to be, there's still an element of you have to prepare for that and you have to consider how much time is that going to take. And parents don't see that part, but you will. So I want you to be very, very cautious of that. Okay. And that's not the part that you're technically getting paid for. So you need to include that in your price. And, my price point might be a little bit higher, but I think for the service that I provide, parents are extremely happy because they know they can come back in to their child's Google Classroom. There's plenty for them to do. So even if for some reason, child says, I'm bored, they're like, you're not bored. go into your Google Classroom. Cheryl's got plenty of things for you to practice. So I think that's really important too. So thinking about who you're supporting, the planning and all of that. And then also thinking about the marketing part that leads up to that and how much time are you going to spend on that. If you're only going to spend, one day putting flyers up, you're not going to get the results that you need. You really need to be thinking about, where am I going to post these flyers? How many am I going to put up? Are there local schools going to take your information? It's really interesting because some schools are like, yes, give us the information. Other schools are like, no, you're not a nonprofit. We can't take your information, which I find really interesting because they don't think that dance studios are nonprofit and other things. So I scratch my head at that, but it's fine. It's fine. So find places where you can post your material, utilize social media. That's where the parents are at. So you might as well be sharing your message there. And so when you're thinking about your scheduling, it's not just the time that you're going to be working with your students, it's the preparation, and it's also sharing that message. Okay, well, I hope that this was helpful for you in thinking about scheduling your time for your summer lessons. For more information about Tutoring with Cheryl, make sure that you click on the links. I'm also a tech coach for tutors. If you'd like more information about that, make sure that you click there. And the date of filming this is May 6th, 2024. And on the 25th, I am hosting a free email marketing mini course for an hour. And so if you would like to join, make sure that you sign up. I hope to see you there. And as usual, make it a great day and keep the learning going.